Welcome to another episode of our podcast at Not That Different. Today, we are going to buddy up with two very special people, Vir and Mihan, who will be talking to us about friendship, hanging out together, having fun, and just being there for each other. And we'll speak to Vir and Mihan's mothers, Gopika and Moneisha, about how their friendship helped shape Vir and Mihan's personalities and how that, in turn, inspired them to start Buddy Up, an app where neurodivergents can find friendship. Welcome me, Vir, Mihan, Gopika, and Monisha. Lovely to have the four of you here.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for having us.
Yeah. So first, I have a question for Vir and Mihan. For how many years have both of you been friends now?
For 4 years.
For 4 years. Hey, that's nice. That's a really nice long time to be friends. And where did you guys meet?
So we met at Will's house.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing we did was made rainbow pancakes.
Wow.
Rainbow pancakes.
Yeah,
That's right.
plus
Mhm.
to add some add to some humor to it.
Mm-hmm.
I call our mom's couch potatoes.
Wow. Okay.
Your mother's couch potatoes because we were hanging out on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
But the rainbow pancakes tasted terrible, right?
Was that like the first time you'd made rainbow pancakes or something? Or have you made this before?
No, first time.
Nice, because I've never eaten rainbow pancakes so far, so I was just curious. Okay, so Veer, tell me, if you had to, you've been friends for 4 years with Mihan now. If you
Yeah.
have to describe him in 5 words, what are those 5 words?
He is very funny. He is talkative. He is kind, amazing, and respectful.
Hey, that's all that I want from my best friend, and that's all my best friend is as well. That's lovely. So, that's a huge compliment for you, Mihan. Now, if you were to describe Veer in 5 words, what would those 5 words be?
So he's funny,
Hmm?
super jokey,
Okay.
Okay.
yeah, and quite independent
Wow.
and smart,
That he is? Yes.
yeah, and gentle.
Wow, very nice. That's like some amazing traits that both of you have, right? Lovely to hear that. So now that you told me all the nice things about each other, Veer, could you tell me one thing? If there's that one little pet peeve, all of us wish our friends did something a little different. So is there something that you wish Mihan did a little differently?
Definitely. Yeah. He
It is.
tried. He tried to tickle me.
Oh, and you don't like getting tickled?
No, I don't like to be tickled.
And what about you, Mihan? What is there one thing you wish that we did a little differently?
Yeah. So as I said, he jokes a lot, and it's too funny. But sometimes when I'm trying to pay attention to something, and then he's again trying to crack jokes when I'm trying to do something that can,
Yeah, I know it can.
yeah,
You wish the other person wasn't distracting you so much. That's barely the time to tell jokes, right?
yeah. I think there's a time and place.
This is
I tell Will let's crack jokes some other time.
okay. Now tell me something very frankly, okay, Mihan. Do you do this to Veer as well?
Do what?
The same thing when he's like busy, he's trying to focus and he's trying to get something done. Do you tell him jokes? Do you tickle him? Do you try to distract him?
No.
So you don't? How sweet.
No.
If somebody did that to me, I
No.
would do that.
But I think he says I tickle him, but I think he feels tickless than me tickling him.
Okay. That's nice. That's really nice. So, so tell me something, Veer. You've been friends for 4 years, right? What
Yeah.
are some of your best memories together? What are some of the things that both of you do together, and some of your, core memories, some of your best memories doing things together?
So we've been on two camps,
Mm-hmm.
one in Uttarakhand and one in Kunur.
Wow. Hmm.
What do you do there? You want to talk about that?
Where?
At the camp?
In Uttarakhand.
Both.
So in Uttarakhand, I went rafting,
Mm-hmm.
and after rafting, Mihan went backpacking, and I went mountain biking. And
Mm-hmm.
in Kunur, we went trekking, we went ziplining and
Wow.
rappelling.
Wow, that's very nice. You don't get scared when you do all of these things, zip
No,
lining and all. I'm very scared of that, honestly.
no.
You don't? That's nice. That's really nice. So, Mihan, what are some of your best memories of the time that you've spent with Veer? Some of your core memories?
Yeah, so for starters, we have sleepovers.
Nice.
It's mainly at wheels nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, and we perform in a band together.
Wow, what's this band called?
It's called a Bombay Beatniks Buskers.
Wow, very nice. And where all have you performed?
So we performed all over Colaba and I think even Mumbai.
Very nice. That explains why both of you are so confident. You're like performing in front of a live audience. I mean, this must be like cakewalk for you. Nice. And what else are your core memories with Veer?
Yeah, and we also dance.
Hmm.
A dance in antisocial. That's some a place in a lower Podel where big bands come,
Wow.
and we are always at the front line, and dancing non-stop.
That's
Wow.
that's
Nice.
that's the
That's nice. That's really nice. So now, Veer and Mihan, tell me something. This new app that you guys have, Buddy Up, it's amazing, right? So, and both of you obviously, seem to be really close friends, really thick friends. So, are you guys looking forward to making more friends through this app?
Yes.
Wow, that's nice. That's really nice. Lovely. It was lovely talking to you. It kind of reminded me of the things that we used to do. I used to do with my friends when I was 18 years old, and that's the best part about being friends, about being young. And you can have fun. You can be yourself. Sadly, it's too late for me to do all of that now. But it's lovely. I really wish more neurodivergents found friendship and found this kind of bonding through your app, Buddy Up. It was lovely talking to both of you. So now I now have a little question for Gopika and Monisha. So tell me, what are Veer and Mihan's biggest strengths, and how has their friendship with each other helped shape to become the person that they are today? Both of them are very confident, right? Fairly independent. So how did their friendship, kind of help shape this personality of theirs?
Um,
you want to go first, Gopika?
sure. So I think they really are a great balance for each other. And I think that really sort of started us thinking about the fact that Monisha was looking for friends within her Down syndrome community. I was looking for friends within the autism community. And we never thought to look cross disability. We never thought that there would be some like a complementary person who would come into our kids' lives. But that's literally what happened. So Mihan, as you probably are aware, and as Veer said, is very talkative. Veer is quieter and laughs non-stop at all Mihan's jokes and stuff like that. But they really have learned to kind of balance each other in that sense. As Mihan said, Veer is very independent. He travels independently by cabs. He crosses the road. And so Mihan was finding it difficult to cross the road. And so we taught him how, held his hand and taught him how to cross the road. So it's been very beautiful because it's each one has kind of complemented the other, compensated for the other. Mihan will talk more. Vir will, do some things like crossing the road independently and things like that. And it really, really does work out very beautifully. And it's been quite a wonderful thing to watch their friendship unfold.
Yeah, I think it's kind of very similar, I suppose, even in neurotypical friendships, right? Oftentimes we end up making friends with people who are in some ways very, very different from us.
Right.
And probably, that's the best part about being friends, it's somebody who's very different from you because you sort of balance out and you
Yes.
learn from each other, right? But somehow, I think for me also, even as a parent of a neurodivergent and, somebody who is autistic, I don't know, in our big list of priorities that we have in terms of intervention, friendship is lost in translation somewhere, right? We don't even think, they have as much need for making friends as we do, except that just never happens, Lovely.
Absolutely. I just feel even for us, I mean, it was, for me, that was a very important part of what I wanted for my son. As he started growing older, he was at a school where most of his classmates moved on to college, university, all of that. And I kind of was worried about the vacuum in his life. Both our boys have siblings who, have their friend sets, go out, and we just wanted the same for them. So I started looking very actively and really found there was no place that I could actually connect with other kids and wishing for an app like this. And that's sort of where, when Gopika and I met and we realized how powerful their friendship was for both us and them, we realized there was a need for a platform like this where young people could connect with each other. And I think, a friendship like this is so integral to one's sense of well-being, to have, a solid person, go-to person who's always available for you on an equal, as an equal,
Yes.
I think that's very, very powerful. And that's the kind of thing we were hoping to bring to that's the kind of opportunity we were trying to bring via the app.
It's very nice. Just to take a step back, Moneisha and Gopika, how did Vir and Mihan meet? Where did they meet? Have they been going to same schools or have they been going to different schools? How did they meet?
As I said, my quest for actively searching for friends for Mihan began, I think, when he started getting to the teens, early teens, pre-teens, because that's when that need starts becoming stronger. As a teenager, you want to do the kinds of things that you have. And we actually started looking. I started looking actively. I would sort of ask people, do you know someone? And we were really lucky that we have a common friend, who's Dr. Vibha Krishnamurthy. She started an organization in Mumbai called Ummeed. And she happens to know us both. And she said, oh, well, Gopika's son is about the same age. Why don't you both meet? And so she actually introduced the two of us, and we set up a meeting for the two of them, got them to do an activity because we weren't sure, how they would, how it would go. So we set up this, they talked about it, the pancake baking and cookie baking. We set up a few activities, and that's how they actually met.
That's I just wanted to add, you said that you normally think about speech therapy and OT and physical therapy and stuff like that. But really, I wish more therapists would think about something like this, because this is therapy.
Exactly.
It is, I think, better than any therapy that
Absolutely.
kind of,
Right. I mean, what can you do in a clinical setting? Only so much.
Because the amount of learning that is for mental well-being is incredible. Just that you have your person or persons is such a powerful feeling, and adds so much to one's sense of self and well-being.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, I can totally, identify, because I think all the more our children also, reach that stage where they realize they're in some ways different from the people around them. And I think that's when they kind of need to have, people they are comfortable with, people they can bond with, just the way we bond with our friends, right? And I think that makes a huge difference to their mental well-being. And I think them becoming very confident and independent people. And like you mentioned, Gopika, I mean, sadly, this is something no therapist thinks of, right? They only have IEPs, they only have, what you're supposed to do clinically and stuff like that. But none of that sadly translates into any real life benefit, not much at least. So yeah, I mean, it's actually lovely. Because as a parent, it never occurred to me to go and, try and find friends for Aditi. So tell me something about this app. Tell me something about Buddy Up app. What are its features? How does it work?
So the app, when you sign on, you kind of make a profile for yourself where you fill in some basic data like where you live, your locality, your disability, if you'd like to disclose it. You can put in your interests, your age group, your gender, and then the profile is created. The app algorithm will then throw up friend suggestions. You can read through other people's profiles, and you can then, if someone seems like someone could be potentially a good friend, you can click on a button called Buddy Up, which basically means you're sending them a friend request. And if that person reads your profile, accepts you, you can start a conversation chatting in the app. You can also search for people. So if you're specifically searching for, say, I'm looking for somebody within 10 kilometers who likes football and maybe is in the age group 18 to 30, I can actually, use the search page to also pull up profiles and use that to find friends for myself. It can also be accessed by caregivers. So caregivers can search for friends for their young people. They can also look through profiles and even toggle on something that says caregivers only. So I can look, for example, say I'm a young parent with a new diagnosis and I'm looking for another caregiver who has a child with Down syndrome who's perhaps older than my child I want to reach out to. I can, as a caregiver, search for caregivers based on certain criteria, and those profiles will also come up. So yeah, it's basically just to make connections that you could maybe not have made just, from your own circles. Just widen the circle, search for people based on various criteria, and that's really what the app allows you to do.
So Shweta, also for us, safety was very, very important. It was a very important consideration. And so we've kind of put some safety features inbuilt into it. So when you sign on, the first thing that you will see when you download the app will be a tick box which says, I am 18 years old. So we were very, very clear, this app is not for children, but it is for their caregivers can find friends for their children. Okay. Also, if you have a child who is, say, vulnerable, okay, you feel will not maybe, and that is an individual decision every parent or caregiver makes, that they feel that my child, I don't think should operate this app by themselves. Then you sign on behalf of your adult child also, even if the child, if your child is an adult. Or you could be a person with a disability who is over 18. So it is for adults. Okay, that is the first thing. Secondly, when you enter the app, the first thing we will do is once you sign in, we will ask you for an OTP. Okay, so that your mobile is traceable. This information is not shared with others, but it is just to ensure that you're not a bot.
Yeah,
that
authenticity of the person basically. Who's signing it. Yeah.
As you go into the app, like Moneisha said, you have all these search features. You buddy up with somebody. If somebody sends you a friend request, you can reject the friend request. Now, once you buddy up with someone, you chat with them. Okay, we have an in-app chat. So you can chat with them, you can send them emojis, you can send them pictures, all that. You also can do a video call. We have offered a 1-minute video call so that you can make sure and ensure the identity of the person is that they are who they say they are.
Right.
So you have that 1-minute video call to make sure of that. If this person you're chatting with annoys you, you can block them.
Mm.
Again, based on feedback from neurodivergent individuals who we have, done a focus group with, you can also unblock this person at a later point.
Okay.
But if this person starts threatening you, if they start sending you offensive or lewd messages, pictures, whatever it is, you take screenshots to save those so that you can send them to us and you can report them, and then we will take action against that person. So all these are the various safety features that we have put into place, and just to make sure that it is absolutely safe, because we want, as parents, we would want our boys to be on an app that was safe for them. And so why wouldn't any other parent want that for their child as well? So that is something which has been very, very important to us.
Right. Yeah, I also like the fact that, caregivers are allowed to sign in, even if a person is, obviously, it's for those who are more than 18 years old, because as much as we presume competence and we wish our children were, our adult neurodivergents were, they understand responsible behavior on the internet and things like that. I think somewhere, right, there is a gap between, what really happens out there and what, how much is it that they can. So I think I really like that safety feature about your app. Another thing that I really thought was very nice was you also allow caregivers to connect with other caregivers, right? I think oftentimes we speak about neurodivergence, we speak about their challenges, we speak about, all the things they are able to do and not able to do, and their need for friendship. But then, what about caregivers, right? It's a fairly lonely journey for most caregivers. It's a confusing journey, especially when I think you have a child who's just been diagnosed. So I think that's lovely as well. So how does that part of the app work? It has the same safety features, gives you the same 1 minute.
Actually, the caregiver accounts are accessed via, like, say, if I'm a caregiver of a young person with Down syndrome, the account, the details will be of the individual that you're caregiving for. But
Okay.
Down syndrome would be the, so I can basically pull up my search a list of caregivers of young people with Down syndrome. So I'll see the age group of the person. So I'm not putting in any details about myself, but you will know
who are there,
where the person is located broadly. I mean, obviously the address is not shared on the profile. Just I'll know, say if I'm in the city Mumbai, I will know Mumbai, and I will know a large locality.
Yeah.
So I can say, okay, there is this caregiver in my locality. Maybe I can reach out. We can, catch up for a cup of chai and we can discuss things if that person responds to me. So that's how it works. It's the caregiver who is accessing the app, has filled in the details for the person that they're caregiving for, but I can pull up a list of caregivers based on certain criteria and then reach out to them.
Yeah, that's kind of sounds interesting, right? And do you also have access to certain resources that these caregivers, resources in terms of, understanding a certain condition, or, stuff that they can read up about, or videos that they can watch and stuff like that, basically to help caregivers of newly diagnosed, autistics or neurodivergence understand, what the journey might be like?
So we do have a list of resources on our resources page, which are credible and vetted. However, the main aim is the connections between caregivers, because we know that there are amazing organizations who are doing this, like Umeed, Nai Disha, who have created actually these lists of very credible, vetted resources. And so while we do have that, and we offer that to caregivers as well as to people with disabilities, our focus is on making the connections.
Right. They can always go up the internet and look for information, but then where do they find friendships? Where do they find bond and actually have a talk about what it is to raise a child with a certain kind of neurodivergence? Lovely. That's very nice to know. So just another quick question about the app, right? Has this app been tested by neurodivergence? Just out of curiosity.
It has. We've in our at every stage we've had neurodivergence come in, give us suggestions, and we've made lots of changes. There have been several iterations over the last year that we've been tweaking it based on feedback. We've our latest iterations have been focusing on accessibility, say for the visually impaired community. We had lots of feedbacks about the getting the screen readers right. So that's been taken in on board, and we've made those changes as well. It's always a work in progress. I don't think we're going to be 100%, but
Right.
it's definitely it's very much on our list of things that is important to us. And as we go along, we'll keep making improvements. But yes, it has been, to briefly answer your question, it has been tested with neurodivergence, and of course the feedback has been taken into consideration while making all the changes as we've gone along.
Cool. That's nice. You're just mentioning accessibility. So could you just, kind of briefly tell us what are some of the accessibility features in this app?
Sure. Basically, when we talk about accessibility, we've had an accessibility tester who is visually impaired. So he has come in. We've kept the language very simple. We've kept the flow of the app as very simple in terms of, and when we've tested it with people with all disabilities, we've ensured that the sign-in process has been enough. So we've had to kind of create that happy medium between getting enough information about the person so as to be able to create the match, as well as not overwhelming them with too much information. So again, we've tested this sign-in process with a lot of people with disabilities. We've had, like I said, the accessibility expert who's come in. So all the buttons, every single button that you see on the app is enabled with a feature called Talkback, with the visually impaired community can use. So it says the correct things that is supposed to say when people who are visually impaired enable that feature on phones and use it. We've also used various suggestions with people, again, who are visually impaired in terms of dark mode, enabling dark mode, which is easier, again, for some of them to be able to access the app and to read. So all these features have been put in. And the other thing, which is sort of in a way an accessibility feature, is that we did not want it to be only in English. So the entire app is available in Hindi. All you have to do is on the homepage, you just have to toggle that you want it in Hindi. So the entire app will be available in Hindi, except if somebody has put in their username in English, that would be in English. But otherwise, all other information is available in Hindi.
That's very nice. I think, while in big cities, we are able to network and kind of, to some extent, at least reach out to people. How do we reach out to people in smaller towns and tier 2 towns? I think that's really nice. In fact, when I saw some of the promo WhatsApps that I got on forwards as well, I realized that the entire message about the app, it was in English, and then it was followed by the whole thing in Hindi. So I thought that was very nice.
Yeah, it's lovely to add more languages, but we felt we had to start somewhere, but
yes, that's right.
This is what we've been able to manage.
So I think, this is really nice. It kind of never occurred to me why, but now that you told me, I kind of, remembered, and I said, yeah, well, that's really nice. So,
yeah, because it is a pan-India app for the moment. We've got, every couple of days we get requests saying, please, can you bring it to Dubai? Please bring it to Singapore, places where there are large Indian expat populations. But we want to be able to, operate it successfully in India first, and then let's see, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, true. Very true. So tell me what's next for Vir, what's next for Mihan? They are going to, they were mentioning that they go to a center called Skills Shakti, right? So what is it that they learn at Skills Shakti?
At Skill Shakti, they are learning, as Mihan mentioned, it's life and accessibility skills. So they're learning various broad skills. In fact, some of the skills they learn, I wish my other child who's not neurodivergent was, explicitly had been taught
these skills. Yeah.
Team management, understanding basic finance, understanding general knowledge about what's going on in the world. So those kind of things, plus through the various things that they do, they kind of try to make each individual figure out where their strengths lie, and as a consequence of that, what would be the right career path for them. So they also help them eventually to get internships, to try different things, to understand where they would best fit as far as work goes. So as far as Mihan goes, he's very social. So we're thinking maybe something in the hospitality space.
Yes.
What I'm thinking, because I think that might be something that he would enjoy. He's a good communicator, so something
Yes.
in that direction. Not yet 100% figured out. There's plenty of time. He's only 19. He's not yet. I mean, he's got some way to go before we have to finalize on what he does next. But that's what we're thinking. And
Yeah, and for Vir, again, like Moneisha said, Skill Shakti has given them a lot of confidence, a lot of skills. They are now experts at Canva. They are able to do, in short, made for us by them, which is really lovely. And they've also learned a lot of other skills. Like, so for example, Vir is interested in baking, and that's something which we're interested in pursuing. He and I have just been finding out about both of us enrolling in a bakery course next year sometime. He's had a couple of bake sales, two bake sales? Yeah, 2 bake sales where he's sold baked goods. So that has helped a lot, because it's helped him to not only bake the stuff, but also be front facing and, talk to people and say, look, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm selling. Also, what Skill Shakti did, which was great, was that they took it upon themselves as an exercise. And so our labels that we printed up and put on the packaging were designed by the kids over there. The costing exercise, I didn't have to do anything. I just had to tell them, look, these are the ingredients. They came up with a plan in their finance class and said, okay, so we'll cost it at this. This is how much we'll charge. This is how much the cost is, and this is how much he should charge if he wants to make 10% profit, 20% profit, 30% profit, whatever. And they used this as an example to teach them finance, which was, I thought, fantastic.
Absolutely, very hands-on.
Yeah, very, very hands-on. In fact, any experiences that happen, they really, even if they've organized a lunch. Recently, they organized a lunch and they had to split the bill. So they said, okay, right now, don't worry, we're going to split the bill in class, and use an app. So again, they're very with it and savvy. So they'll use an app like Splitwise or whatever it is and use that to see how to split the bill. So that these kids really learn how to do that. And so it's been great. And so we're looking at something maybe in baking. Again, Vir is both Vir and Mihan have run the marathon. They're very athletic, like Mihan mentioned. They sing in this band. So, I think a combination of things for Vir to make sure that he is able to achieve his potential and contribute meaningfully in some way.
Yeah, I think, that's what all of us, hopefully wish would happen with our neurodivergent children someday, right? So tell me a little about this other initiative of yours, Gopika. I've been wanting to ask you, sensitizing the taxi drivers in Mumbai. That I thought was a very nice initiative because, oftentimes that is the very reason why, we are scared to send our neurodivergent kids, teens and young adults alone, because we are not confident if they'll be able to manage their money and will they be taken for a ride, right? So tell me about that. But Vir is somebody who's very independent. He takes a taxi to school every day.
What happened with you in the taxi?
In the taxi, on the way back home.
Remember that time when the taxi driver took 700 rupees?
One taxi driver cheated me.
Oh my God.
He
Okay.
took 700 rupees from me.
Yeah. And then what did he do?
Then he
Then what did we do? We
he
created something.
created some
No?
flyers.
Yeah. So
for that.
so this happened, so we've always tried to ensure that Vir is as independent as possible, walking to places by himself and taking cabs. And I mean, with Uber, of course, it's easier, but sometimes you don't get Uber. So what do you do? So I said, okay, I have to teach you to take cabs. We usually cabbies in Mumbai are known for their honesty. You have lots of anecdotes and stories of people who have left literally like gold ornaments and things like that, and the cabbie has and piles of cash, and the cabbie has returned it without taking a single paisa. In this case, what happened was that we didn't have change, and so the taxi guy took 700 rupees from him, and he came and told us this. And so I figured, okay, we have to do something about this. So I have a friend who's a journalist, and I called her up and asked her for the taxi union person's number, and I spoke to somebody, and they said, yeah, we'll take it up. But I realized that, at the union level and at the government level, I said, come and let me come and do a talk for your taxi guys. They said, no, that's not possible. So I said, okay, fine. I said, then I was thinking of what else can I do? So I said, can I make a flyer? And will you give it to your guys? So they said, okay, you can do that. But it was kind of dismissed.
Yeah, do it, give it, it's done, sort of.
So I said, okay, fine. What can I do? And so I made this flyer, and I said, it's not possible only in English. So English, Hindi, Marathi is what I use, because that's the state language in Maharashtra. And I got copies printed up, and I also put it online. Now, what I didn't realize when it went online is just how far it would go. So I just put a thing saying, write into me if you want a copy and use it. And there were people writing in from all over the country. Somebody from Bengal saying, I want to translate it into Bengali. Somebody from Tamil Nadu. Somebody from literally everywhere. And it was, I don't know what has happened to it. I don't know if it's gone far and wide. But I hope it has. And I told people, I said, look, change the language. It's not like it's my property. Change the language to use it with shopkeepers. Change it with people in restaurants. Just so that there is some sort of awareness created. I have to say that my experiences in Bombay, whenever I've given the flyer out, have been amazing. Because I've had people, firstly, the guys will say, usko aise nahi karna chahiye tha. And then, ऐसे कैसे कर सकता है हमारा काम, like they'll say that it's ruining our name. This person is. And then they say, of course, we'll spread the word. And what has been really lovely is that sometimes I've sat in a taxi and I've given out the flyer, and the person has said, हाँ मुझे ये मिला है. My I know about it. So it's really lovely because it's like coming full circle. So those have been wonderful moments.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I saw that on social media as well, I thought that was really nice. All of us have these experiences in different places, right? Where our children have been taken for granted, where people say things about our children and we end up feeling very bad about it. But how many of us, think about what do we do about this, so that this doesn't happen, right? Obviously, this is the world in which our children are going to live even after we are gone. So how do we prepare them, for living on their own as much as they can, and two, how do we sensitize the society, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was an amazing step, just go out.
And I think what is amazing is that both Vir and Mihan have become really amazing self-advocates. In fact, Mihan has spoken on various platforms at Purple Fest as well, amazingly about himself. And I think that's really fantastic that they've emerged as self-advocates. What more do you want for your child?
Exactly. That's true. That's like, that's amazing. So, yeah, it was lovely talking to all the four of you. And here's wishing, many more people find friendships through Buddy Up, the way, and experience the kind of friendship that Vir and Mihaan have. And all the best. It was lovely talking to all.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.